everyone, and thank you for joining us for day 2 of Accelerate. My name is Allison Farrell, and along with Christy Brown, we will again be your MCs for today, and we are so excited you've joined us. We are going to get started. We have a full day packed, so we're going to go through the agenda in just a minute. But to get us started and get us energized for today, I wanted to have 2 of our senior leaders from DAXCO come on and just kind of get us, tell us about how they motivate and how they energize their teams. So in just a second, I'm going to have Brittany Richards and Bjorn come up, but I'm going to share my screen first. Bjorn is our he serves as DAXCO's Chief Technology Officer. He has a successful track record of developing people, process, and innovative software solutions as a servant leader in the software industry. He is passionate about customer-centric focus in all sides of the business, from support to product strategy, as well as development. With 17 years of experience leading operational and software development teams, Bjorn uses innovation as a tool to benefit customers and team members alike. Bjorn grew up in Norway. He now lives in Denver with his family, where he enjoys snowboarding, mountain biking, and eating a lot of pizza. We also have Brittany Richards. She's our Senior Vice President of Services. She leads the services organization at DAXCO, including customer support and professional services. She has a proven track record of identifying and executing operational improvements that directly result in an enhanced customer experience. Prior to joining DAXCO, Brittany held multiple leadership roles within SaaS, so software as a service, companies in the healthcare and sports verticals. She's also served as a consultant to executive leadership teams, helping draw up operational blueprints for accelerated growth while maintaining high customer satisfaction. She's a Birmingham native and received both her bachelor's and her master's in history at the University of Alabama in Birmingham. So Britt and Bjorn, are you guys ready to kick us off today?
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Everybody had their coffee? Got a good, depending on where you are, depends on how early it is for you. Bjorn's in Denver, so it's a little earlier. Well, yeah. Thanks, Allison. That's awesome. Thank you so much for introducing us and kicking this off. And everybody, I mean, gosh, think about yesterday. How cool was yesterday? As we live in this new digital world where we were restricted by Zoom, how cool is it that we got to sit together yesterday and just go through some of the really, really awesome discussions. I was reading the takeaways that people had and then some of the commentary from yesterday, and it's just really cool to see. So I'm actually gonna kick us off with just a general discussion around how we motivate our teams at DAXCO, how we really get everybody, going in the same direction. And Bjorn and I are going to touch on that quite a bit this morning, just to kick you off. So as you think about yesterday, while I'm going through this, what did you just sort of start playing a highlight reel of those big things where you were like, man, that's cool. That's something I wish we could do. What is the stuff that you left on the cutting room floor because you were like, I would love to take that on, but that is so big that I don't know if we can do it. It's just this but I'm unsure. Keep those things in mind as we go through this. So come with me for the next few minutes with that stuff in your brain. So for DAXCO, we have these 4 pillars that we really embrace in our organization. And I want to walk you through those really quickly. You've probably seen them on our website. You've probably heard us mention them. They're really important to us. We spend a lot of time crafting those and really trying to figure out what is it about our culture that makes us DAXCO? What is it that makes us tick? So we have we over me. We think about us as a we. We focus on, is that going to drive a better overall experience for everybody involved? Is that going to push our customers forward? Is that going to push our organization forward? It's not, when you think about football, right? It's not your quarterback, it's your team. We're constantly thinking about ways that we can drive our entire team forward. We take the stairs. We actually borrowed this, and I'll go into it a little bit more shortly, but we borrowed this concept from Rory Vaden. He wrote a book called Take the Stairs, and it's a really big piece of our culture where we don't take the elevator, right? When things get hard, we're not like, oh God, Where's the elevator? We're going to run up the stairs. If we've got to run up 14 flights, that's what we got to do. And we're going to do it, and we're going to do it hard. Think about it as a way of, you know, we ran through a lot of iterations of this, and we were like, we run through walls, and it's like, that's a little rough. there's a lot of roughness to that statement. So we take the stairs really embodied that we're going to run through walls. We're going to go up whatever flights we have to. We're going to go uphill no matter what, because we're focused on the business. We're focused on our customers' businesses. We want all of us to collectively grow together. And then in addition to that, we're driven by an entrepreneurial spirit. And really this one, I see this come out so much in services, and they don't see it as often as I do, where we're creative thinkers. We are constantly trying to find ways to solve problems as an organization where, okay, maybe that didn't work. Let's get crafty. Let's get creative. Let's put on our entrepreneurial hat. I did a lesson on this a couple of weeks back with the entire services organization. And one of the things that we talked about is how you embrace your inner kid thinking, right? Kids are so unlimited in how they view the world. You know, you present this major problem as an adult, and they're like, just build a bridge out of popsicle sticks. Duh. And they're just so they're so uninhibited in how they look at the world. And so we try to harness that spirit in our organization as well. And then we're experts in our craft, right? We are constantly moving the bar forward on how much we should know, absorb, and take in on our roles, on our overall organization, on our communities, on our business, on our industry, everything. We need to constantly be experts in our crafts. That means we're 2 steps ahead as much as we can be. We're not waiting on trends to hit us in the face. And so really, the thing that embodies at its core is this concept that we talk about at DAXCO, and how we feel like we leverage all of these core values is we exhibit a growth mindset. We are constantly focused on how can we think about things in a way that is not, no, we can't do it, but okay, that might not be the way, but how do we get there? We try to catch each other in meetings. If we're sitting there and we actually say, you know, oh, that is a good idea, but, and we say, wait, how can we do it? We harness all those different 4 pillars that I just walked through to get to this growth mindset mentality. And one of the things that we took from, as I mentioned previously, Rory Vaden's book, is this concept of the buffalo and the buffalo mindset. And it's growth mindset at its core, right? The story goes, you have a herd of buffalo and you have a herd of cattle. A herd of cattle, when a storm is coming across the mountains in Colorado, where Rory is a native, when a storm is coming across the mountain, the cattle are going to look at it and they're going to run. They're absolutely going to run terrified, right? They see that big, hairy problem, that big storm, and they're like, nope, can't do it. Get out of here, evade. And instead of, sorry, my dog is going to talk through this with us. So, that is my dog, not my stomach. I'm not hungry. They see that storm, they run. Well, what happens when they're running from the storm, right? It's still moving in the same direction. It's going to overtake them, and they're going to stay with it at some point, and they're going to live in it. You take a herd of buffalo. A herd of buffalo are going to see that storm, and they're going to run straight at it every time. They see it and they go straight into it, and they minimize the time they spend in all of the chaos because they go right through it. That storm's going to go this way. They're going to blow through it and go running forward towards the next one. And so at DAXCO, we always talk about growth mindset in total unison with a buffalo spirit, right? A buffalo mentality. Are we charging those storms? So I'm going to turn it over to Bjorn. He's going to walk you through a lot of the ways we practically apply this, right? How we get into the minutia of getting these things done and exhibiting that growth mindset in the day-to-day. But I want you to keep thinking about those things you left on the cutting room floor, those things you said were too big, as we go through the rest of this, and how you can start harnessing that buffalo mindset. Bjorn?
Yeah, thanks, Britt. I love the way she put that, you know, the things you left on the cutting room floor. I typically reference those things as that inspirational voice that you're hearing inside your head. I think that the most important voice you heard yesterday and that you're going to hear today, and, you know, at any point in time, honestly, is that voice of inspiration that's constantly going on inside of your mind. That's the voice we need to pay attention to the most. It's the one that's telling us to do things we haven't done before, try things we haven't tried before, and to be just a little bit better in some way or another, to be a little bit more entrepreneurial, pursue, we over me, to be an expert in your craft, whatever it may be. I try to look inward towards what is that voice of inspiration telling me, and that really helps me get answers to how to lead my team on a day-to-day basis. I don't get all my answers that way, but it's one of those things that I try to pay attention to. So I love this image as we get into a little bit more of the nitty-gritty of what does it mean to really, try and, lead our teams, motivate our teams, especially, these days. And I love this picture for, a specific reason. And that is about a year ago, maybe about a year and a half ago at this point, I was at Five Guys eating dinner with my mom and my dad and my family. And I picked up my phone and I was looking at it really, really close like this. And my mom was looking at me going, Bjorn, what are you doing? And I'm like, I just can't see these words on this phone. It's so little. And she reached out with these right here. And she said, Bjorn, here, take these. These are my mom's glasses. And she said, put these on. I was like, Mom, no, I don't need those. I'm good. As I'm sitting here with my phone right here, all the way up against my face. She said, Bjorn, just put these on. I'm like, okay, fine. And I put on, these are my mom's glasses and I still use them now. So they look a little funny on me, but I put them on and I was like, whoa, it was like this picture right here. I was like, oh my gosh, Mom, you're a doctor. This is amazing. I can see. And, man, it's awesome. Every so often now I throw these on. They're just magnification glasses. And oh my gosh, the things I can see are just unbelievable. That relates really good to the people that we're working with on a day-to-day basis. Ourselves, our teams, gosh, they need clarity. If they don't have clarity, they're all, up in there trying to figure out what things say and what you want them to do and how they're going to be successful. Gosh, as leaders and as team members and as just peers, we have got to start by ensuring that the people around us have clarity of our expectations of them, clarity of what we're doing, clarity of what they should be doing, what they were hired to do. Engineers have this problem a lot. I manage a bunch of engineers, and engineers struggle sometimes to figure out, well, gosh, you've asked me to write this little piece of code. How does that help the company in their grand plans? They need that clarity so that they can be motivated and inspired to say, you know what? I know how this helps us drive a little bit more of a we to me spirit, drive the grand aspirations of this organization. So I typically start as I seek to inspire and lead and motivate my teams by ensuring that we have clarity of purpose. Beyond that, people need they need to know their lane, how they're going to operate, where they're going to operate, guardrails if necessary, boundaries if necessary, and I call that my focus. Once you have clarity and you sort of know what those expectations are, you need to ensure that your team is able to focus. And so sometimes, if you have a more creative mind, maybe the boundaries are bigger, or maybe they're non-existent and you really want to drive that creativity. But other times, if you have an engineer that you really want to make sure is solving a very specific problem, you want to make sure that they know how their skills apply, what the grand purpose is, and really bring that focus in. And so that is, if you want to click to the next slide, Allison, that is my next, thing that I try to really emphasize with my teams as I'm driving, them forward, trying to lead and inspire and motivate them is, they have clarity, they need focus, they need those boundaries, those lanes, the guardrails, whatever it may be. Help them narrow in their view of what's important. With that clarity applied and that focus, you're then able to start achieving the next piece, which is alignment. Have you ever seen that rowing team during the Olympics that's just in perfect sync, perfect harmony? Go ahead and click again. That is what that alignment is that we look for. And you achieve that alignment by ensuring your teams have clarity of purpose, have clear lanes to focus on, and then you start bringing those people together to achieve alignment. And then you have that perfect symmetry, that perfect harmony, everybody rowing in the same direction, and you can start moving at a really, really fast pace. Beyond that, you know, I don't know, many of you have probably read the book, you know, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, and the foundational aspect of, you know, building a successful team is trust. Our team members need to not only have that clarity of purpose, that focus, and be aligned, they need to know that we trust them. We ultimately hired these people to do a great job for us. We didn't hire them because we thought they were mediocre or okay, or they might be, you know, kind of good at what we think they're going to do. We hired them because we think they're A players, worth investing in, going to do amazing work for us. So with that, sometimes we have to step back and give them a little bit of freedom to execute, right? And that's tough. Sometimes you're gonna run into some failures. You're gonna run into people who or team members who don't quite achieve that outcome that you were looking for here and there. But I promise you, as you put your faith and your trust in the people that you have hired, the people around you, and you believe in them and you show them you are in their corner, I have found that I receive or achieve, my team achieves better results than if I'm trying to micromanage, push them, drive them, be in their day to day, and doing things my way. I think there's a lot of creativity and again, comes back to the entrepreneurial spirit out there that can be tapped into once you give people that freedom. And I believe that through that clarity, that focus that ultimately leads to the alignment, you create freedom and you get the best work out of your people. And so to just close out my message, you know, go to the next slide. One thing I think we all deal with is, you know, uncertainty. And there's a quote that helps me anchor myself and that I use with my team a lot, in particular lately, to help anchor them. Go ahead and click. And that quote is by Kevin W. Pearson. And it says, "Don't let something you don't fully understand unravel everything you do know." So again, once my team has clarity, focus, I'm making sure they know what is expected of them. There's alignment. They know they have freedom to execute and do their best work. I remind them, hey, there's going to be uncertainty. There are going to be things that we don't do exactly perfectly, or we're not going to hit a home run every single time. But don't let any of those things you don't fully understand unravel all of the things you do know. The things you know are your anchors, and they're the ones those are the things that are going to get you through. Those are the things that are going to help you navigate the chaos that is around you. So remember those anchors and navigate the chaos. That's a strong message that we use internally to help, you know, navigate and inspire the troops. So with that, I'm going to hand it back over to Britt.
I'm on mute. So I feel like that's the slogan of 2020. You're on mute. All right. Awesome. Thank you, Bjorn. Thank you for that message. So yeah, what I wanted to talk to you about, again, we talked about what are those big storms, right? What are those big ideas, those big scary things? Steve Ives actually mentioned yesterday, if it scares you, you're probably supposed to do it, right? That's probably the thing that you need to tackle. Think of that in your Buffalo mentality, right? Think of that as the thing that the community needs that you need to charge and take on head on. And so my challenge to you is we want you to start putting the Buffalo Challenge in your organizations, right? Talk to your teams about, hey, here's the Buffalo mentality. Here's what that means. And start recognizing your Buffaloes. In services, every quarter, we actually recognize and have an award for the services Buffalo. And we're rolling that out across the broader Daxco business now, where we're going to have an annual Buffalo award. And we want to recognize those people who are constantly thinking in ways that are not, I can't, I shouldn't, but like Steve mentioned, man, that's scary. Let's run straight at it. Let's take that thing head on. So yeah, my challenge to you, take on the Buffalo Challenge. And as you're going through today, keep that Buffalo mentality, because we're going to talk about throughout the rest of the day, all these amazing ways that you can start practically applying this stuff. And when you catch yourself sort of drifting into, I don't know, write down, hey, what scares you about that? What makes you nervous about that? And then try to get to the core of it. And there's your storm, run straight at it. Okay. Thank you. Thanks so much for listening to Bjorn and I kick you off. I'm going to turn it back over to Allison.
Thank you, Bjorn and Britt. Those are great anchors and great messages. And I know we will all take up the Buffalo Challenge as we are moving into the rest of this year and then into 2021. So thank you for leading us off. I'm actually going to turn it over to Christy, who's going to walk through. She's going to give us a walkthrough of the schedule for today and a few reminders of Zoom. We've got a packed day, so we just wanted to make sure you guys knew kind of where everything was, and I know you've been in Cadence navigating, but we wanted to give you a few quick reminders about that. So Christy, are you ready?
I am ready. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for you all. First thing is first. It is 2020. We are at a virtual event, and Zoom is likes to play games with us. So we actually just made an update to the homepage for all Zoom links. So on the homepage, you should be able to reference any of the Zoom links here with the passwords. I wish I could give a better answer as to why some people have a password and why don't when they are asked to join, but I don't have an answer, and they're here if you need them. Again, if you have questions and can't access it, ping me. But the thing here to note is that we actually just needed to update the breakout room 1. The one on the homepage is the most up-to-date one, and then I will be updating it in the full schedule in just a minute, but we just had to make that change. But if worst comes to worst, always reference the homepage for the most up-to-date Zoom link. I'll go ahead and hop into the full schedule here. Like I mentioned at the beginning, I really encourage you guys to go ahead and refine and just filter down to the sessions that are happening today. So you'll see here we are happening now, which is how will you accelerate? Up next, we have 2 breakout rooms. So the first is going to be enhanced experiences in the breakout room 1, which will be talking through ways to foster really meaningful connections with your mission for members, participants, volunteers, donors along the full life cycle of anyone that works with a YMCA or JCC. At the same time, because we'll be having 2 tracks, we'll also be talking through gaining deeper insights, where we will be digging into some our insights and impact review that we are posting each month, and then additional tools that you all can be leveraging to gain that deeper insight on your end. After that, we'll be going into the Birds of a Feather networking. So we're really excited for this one. We are going to be having 3 different breakout sessions. We were initially going to assign you all out based off of your title, but then we realized that 2020 has caused you all to wear even more hats than you were expecting. So we're going to allow you to self-select which Birds of a Feather networking room you attend. So I will be posting this throughout the day. You don't have to remember it, but in the main room, we'll have a session on leading your team. So we encourage any leaders, C-suite executive directors to join that and have a networking session. The next is streamlining your processes in breakout room 1, which will be operations, business systems, system admins, and then breakout 2 will be marketing your mission. So that could be marketing, membership, childcare programs that will be all in that session for Birds of a Feather networking. After that, we'll have our lunch keynote, so you can go grab a snack, and then we are going to be joined by John Akoff, who has presented at some NATO sessions. We're really excited for his presentation on Beyond the Pivot, because as we've learned at this event, we don't like the word pivot, so we're going to get beyond it, and ways that you can continue to accelerate your mission after and beyond the mess that is this year. That after lunch, we'll go into our second round of breakouts. So we'll have a grow and retain revenue session, talking through new ways to source revenue and drive different revenue sources. And then we'll have increased efficiencies at the same time, talking through some new ways to streamline your processes. The last breakout session of the day, we'll have 3 different SOP breakouts. So we have established your SOPs. We'll talk through some different tools that we have for you all to build out SOPs for your team and establish them. We have an SOP workshop. So if you already have them, but you want to work it and improve them and dig in deeper, we'll have that. And then the last, we'll have training your team, because we know that this has really been a year of turbulence for your staff, so they may need some updated and refreshers on processes. So we'll talk through the best ways for training your staff. And then we'll all come together one more time in the main room and have a final session to kick off our charge to go accelerate and transform communities. And we will wrap up around 4 p.m. CST Central. Once again, like I mentioned, we will be posting the Zoom links in the chat before we hop to each new Zoom. They'll be in the live feed and they'll be updated in the schedule in the next couple of minutes.
Thank you, Christy. So we'll give everybody a chance to hop to those breakout sessions. The first options of the day, as Christy just mentioned, but stay tuned, keep posting to the live feed. We love seeing your insights and the things that you've loved to hear. And we will be back with you in our later sessions for the day. So we'll see you in just a bit.